Welcome to 6 Minutes. I'm Anish Rajendran, lead anchor out of our 3 crew members. Tonight, we will discuss a genetic disease that most people would only know as a gluten allergy. Celiac disease is more than that, and we just recently made some breakthroughs in understanding what celiac is, and in the near future, we will be administering medication to nullify its effects on the body. Joining us today is the chief scientist of the Celiac Disease Foundation, a doctor of genetic diseases, Professor Patrick C. Starr, Ph.D., and a victim of celiac, Zach Turner. Here is a clip of an interview I had with Dr. Professor Starr, Ph.D. himself. What is the current level of understanding of celiac disease?
We've made incredible progress in understanding what celiac disease is and what causes it. We now know that celiac is caused by a mutation on the chromosome 6p21. This mutation can be both dominant or recessive, depending on which gene is mutated. This alters the production of a certain enzyme, dipeptidyl peptidase 4, by altering the amino acid sequence of it. Enzymes are a type of protein that specialize in making chemical reactions require less energy. The chemical reaction that DPP4 is used with involves breaking down gluten. As you may recall from 9th grade biology, cells, as well as your body, need proteins for just about everything. When even just one slight change in a protein happens, a cell could be thrown into turmoil. Fortunately, this disease isn't life-threatening, as long as you maintain a lifelong abstinence of gluten.
So what exactly is gluten?
Gluten is a protein found in wheat, rye oat, and barley. It holds together the bonds in those grains. It's composed of a long chain of amino acids, primarily lysine and tryptophan.
What happens when someone with celiac disease attempts to digest gluten?
Results can vary from person to person, but the common symptoms include abdominal bloating and pain, chronic diarrhea, vomiting, and constipation.
Can a single mutation really make that big a difference in the digestive system?
It can. That one cell will multiply, and eventually the whole mutated cell will be the only cell type within the small intestine. That cell type is called villi. It's a lining in the small intestine. Fortunately, my lab has designed a medication for celiac disease. It's still in the testing phase, so I can't tell you too much about it. But the basic idea is for the pill to contain the DPP4 enzyme, similar to a lactase pill, so that a gluten can be digested by people with celiac.
Some of you who are watching right now may be wondering how the mutation was started. More members of the Celiac Disease Foundation gave me a tour of their lab, along with more information. They explained that in the process of DNA replication, occasionally a mistake or a mutation in the DNA can occur, when the DNA is unzipped and zipped back up. When the cells divide, they are identical, so the mutation is carried on by each and every cell that came from the original mutated cell that split. This cell division is called mitosis, by the way. This is not to be confused with meiosis, where a cell divides twice to make 4 non-identical sperm or egg cells. From these cells, celiac disease can spread. We now direct you to our anchor, Nick D'Amato. D'Amato. He will be covering a story on a victim of celiac and how he manages without gluten.
Zach Turner, who has celiac disease, has agreed to talk to us about his genetic disorder. This is merely a picture of a generic boy. It's not actually Mr. Turner. The disease affects him by making his ankles and wrists hurt. It's so bad that he can't get out of bed in the morning. It ruins his entire day. It only takes 3 crumbs to trigger a reaction, compared to how much gluten needs to be in food to be considered gluten-free, which is 5 parts per million. You may be wondering how you get the disease. It's purely genetic. His mother and father both have the gene. Zach has 2 recessive alleles that have been given to him at conception. There's no way around it. He has a chance to pass it on to his children. At a time in his life, he can be switched on, too. In an effort to fit in with his family, Zach has recently visited the Celiac Disease Foundation to see how they can treat him for his disease. He met personally with Professor Starr himself about getting the correct DPP4 into his body. He's now on the waiting list for experimental treatment. With more on the subject, we now go to Professor Starr one more time about what is happening with Zach, why, and an update on the medication and testing.
Zach came to us, he explained the situation, and asked us for any viable treatment options. We offered him a place among our test subjects for DPP4 pills, and he gladly obliged. His case was normal among what we've seen. A single mutation of his DNA caused the celiac disease. It's not easy nor safe to cure this, so we focused on a cheaper and safer alternative that can work just as well. We've checked a 30-day use of our prescription bottle will cost about $200 to purchase, which is thousands times less than the cheapest gene therapy out there.
So the medication should be the best option for anyone out there with celiac?
If that person does wish to eat gluten, then we recommend the treatment. However, if you so choose to eat gluten-free, then by all means you do not require our prescription. The main choice is up to you.
6 minutes.
Signing off, I'm Manish Rajendran.
And I'm Nick D'Amadio.